How do you raise finance as an entrepreneur?
You can raise finance.
Raising money.
For a joint venture.
Joint ventures.
Joint ventures.
If you watch till the end of this video, you're going to learn two very important things. Number one, how we managed to raise 6 figures in 2 weeks from an investor that has been sitting in our phone book for years. And number two, exactly how much we raised and how you can do the same in just 2 weeks.
In phase one, the job was to find a property for one of our investors to actually invest in. And funny enough, that was the easiest part of this whole process because we already found the deal before we even came up with an idea. We found a deal in London and our next steps was to get a builder around and get a refurb quote on it. Now this deal was an auction property and here are the numbers. The purchase price was £320,000 and the refurb quote we were given was about £100,000, which we thought was a bit too much.
It was a good deal, but the problem was that the auction started in just a week and we needed to find a way to raise roughly £150,000 to actually do this. So a summary of phase one is finding a good deal to JV with an investor with.
Phase two. Now we've got a juicy deal. We need to find somebody that's actually going to agree to JV with us on this deal. And in the past, in all honesty, we had a couple of deals that we called a few people about asking if they would be interested in JVs. And we got shut down straight away, mainly because they said we didn't have any experience. So for them, it was a bit risky, which I totally understand. And there are ways around it, but that was just our experience in the past. So once we'd finished sort of packaging this deal and we had all the numbers ready, we had somebody in mind who actually mentioned to us that they were looking for another investment property. But instead of just going up to him and asking him, yo, do you want to JV with us on this? We decided to change our strategy a bit and we actually planned out how we were going to pitch him. And these are the 3 steps that we took when we pitched him.
Step 1, stroke his ego a bit and show him the deal. So we started with, hey, Mr. Man, we know you're in the property game and you've got a lot more experience and knowledge than us. We wanted to run it by you to get your thoughts and sort of see what you think of this deal for our peace of mind. And of course he agreed. So we went into presentation mode and we showed him the entire deal pack from A to Z, the videos, auction fees, profit, calculations, stamp duty, literally everything, refurb quote. And do you know what he said? Wow, that's a really incredible deal, which is exactly what we needed for him to just admit that it was a good deal.
So when you're pitching to your investors, step 1, you need to get them to admit that it's a good deal. Don't ask for anything, just tell them that you want to know their thoughts and just, like stroke their ego a bit. You're so much more experience and this and that. And all of that is true, but it will make them feel good inside.
Step 2. Trojan Horse. Now, I'm sure all of you guys know the story of the Trojan Horse, but here's a quick summary. In 1194 BC, after 10 years of futilely besieging the city of Troy, the Greeks devised a cunning plan to finally infiltrate this. They built an enormous wooden horse and hid a select group of soldiers inside it, pretending to abandon the war. The Greeks left the horse as a supposed offering to the gods and sailed away. The Trojans, believing they had won, brought the horse into their city as a trophy. That night, the Greek soldiers emerged from the horse, opening the city gates to allow the rest of their army, who had secretly returned, and they took the city of Troy by surprise, leading to its fall. Now, our Trojan Horse was asking for a JV. It's not as exciting, but we were kind of expecting him to say no, because he was mentioning from previous conversations that he was saving his money for another buy-to-let. So we kind of got the gist of it.
So the key thing is we'd had a few conversations with him prior to actually sitting down with him for the pitch. And we already knew that he was saving his cash. He was also 60K short to buy his next property, which is actually very crucial information that we managed to leverage to eventually get him to say yes. But we'll explain that in a moment. So once he started getting excited over the deal, we went in for the JV by saying the following, that we've been doing deal sourcing for a while now. We've sold a few deals and we're learning more about the property industry, but we want to start doing bigger and better things. And we need someone who's so much more experienced than us to guide us and just give us that little boost that we need to buy our first property and then recycle from there on. And basically just explain to him how we needed someone from our community to just almost take us under their wing.
Believe in us.
And believe in us and really just help us get to that next level. And then we pitched the JV by saying, look, he doesn't have to do any work. He already knows it's a good deal. We'll manage the refurb, the purchase. He just gives us the money and then we split the profit. And we actually gave him a bit of the edge. So we said, you can take 60%, and we'll take 40% of the profit.
As expected, he said no, and these were his exact objections. He wants to save his current pot of cash for his next buy-to-let, which he wants in the next 3 months. He's already 60k short of what he needs because he only buys cash. He said he'd be happy to work with us after his next property, but not now.
Step 3, going into the clear. So from previous conversations, we already knew exactly what he would say, and we had planned for it. And in fact, we were hoping that he would say no to this. We wanted those objections to come up because we'd already planned for that. And once he gave us those objections, we said, hey, look, we totally understand. No, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't you do this instead? Now, he has a lot of buy-to-let properties and he only buys cash. So we suggested that he refinances one of his properties and uses that money to actually allow us to invest into our own properties. And here's the reasons that we gave him. That property is sitting there doing nothing. You're 60k short. So if you refinance, you can pull your 60k out from there. We'll do the flip and give you 60% of the profit from the first deal. But we want to keep the money for 5 years. And in those 5 years, we are going to cover the remortgage payment. So you're not losing any money at all. You're still getting your exact rent a month and you're not having to pay the remortgage. We'll cover the payments. We're going to give you 50% on the first deal. And then throughout the 5 years, we're going to give him a small portion of profit on every single flip we do. And then at the end of the 5 years, we'll pay him back the money. And basically the plan to pay him back is by buying properties, refurbishing them and selling them, and then building our pot of cash. But that way, all of your problems are solved and our problems are solved because you're 60k short. You want to buy another property. We don't have any cash. Well, not any, but we don't have enough cash to start buying properties. This way, you're sitting back doing nothing. You're making money. You're helping people that you've known for a while get onto the property ladder and build up their business. And you're sorting out your own problem.
Now, after we said this, his face completely changed and he wanted to know more and more. And we can tell that his interest just peaked. This just proves the saying that your phone book is worth millions of pounds. All you have to do is be strategic and ask the right way. What really helped us was that we were thorough in our work and we had a plan for our business. So we showed him exactly what we were going to do and what our intentions were, and he could tell that they were pure.
We actually made a reel about this, is that when you're looking for a JV partner, you have to be investable. You have to make sure that you showcase that you're the right person, that they should be investing 6 figures into you. And this way really helped us and really helped our image to be investable.
This was a crazy experience because there was so much planning that went into it. There was so much talking around it. We wrote down the plan. We were spending hours and hours thinking about it. And the stakes were really high because if we wanted this business to grow, if we want to become millionaires by the time we're 25, then we have to do something big like this. And we managed to achieve it.
Finally, this is how much we raised. I know it's been the moment you're waiting for, and psych, we're not going to do it. I'm joking. We actually raised £337,000 in our business. So we secured a £337,000 investment
In our bank account.
for our business in our bank account.
Literally just hearing that number is actually quite crazy because the amount of work that we put into like just trying to secure this and that it actually happened versus the amount of times we failed to secure that type of money, and we failed with different ideas that we had and different
businesses, man.
different businesses, different ideas on trying to get investments and JVs. It was a huge moment for us that the money came in December 2024, and now January 2025, we've got so many different plans.
Yeah, so we are planning and writing down our next YouTube video, and we're going to be talking about our 2025 goals and vision, and we're going to go into detail about what we are going to do with this money and how we're going to use it to pay back this loan back in the next 5 years, as well as make some more money for us
and turn ourselves into millionaires by the age of 25.
So to recap, here are the steps that we took that you can take. Number 1, find a banging deal. Number 2, do your due diligence. 3, go through your phone book and make a list of people with money, and bonus if they're already in property. 4, have a few conversations with them beforehand to gain some ammo and what they're looking to do with that money, what they have already done, and what position they're currently in. 5, ask if you can share your deal and get them to admit it's a good deal. Number 6, pitch.
So yeah, that is how we raised 6 figures in the span of 2 weeks. And then the refinance for the investor, that took another 2-3 weeks. And then we had the money in our account. So stay tuned for our next video because we're going to break down what we're going to do with that money.
Just like that.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on our Instagram, follow us on our TikTok, and we'll see you in the next video.